California's on fire, figuratively and literally. Trump didn't hold back on Gavin Newsom, and neither will we. From forgotten calls to failed leadership, this is what happens when image matters more than action. Let's go.
Was Governor Gavin Newsom trying to kill the auto industry then?
Oh, he was killing the auto industry. I don't think he knew it. I think he's a guy who he's just got a faulty thought process. You look at that train. The train is the most. I've seen people, stupid people, with cost overruns for years. I've watched where something would cost twice as much or 3 times, but this thing is costing 20 times more. It's the most incredible disaster I've ever seen. That's one. The cars are just as bad. Everything's bad. And now you have this situation. So his own sheriff, who's a good man, by the way, said 2 days ago or 3 days ago that we could not have done this without the military. They were going to take over this whole, they couldn't have done it. Now today they got him to change his tune. He said, oh, I think we could have handled it. You know, it's so sad. He was so honest. I was using his quote all over the place that they got him to change. But he knows. Los Angeles would be right now burning to the ground, just like the houses burned to the ground. It's so sad what's going on in Los Angeles. Think of it. They had a fire that should have never had because they should have listened to me in the water. Eventually, we broke in and we had the water come down from the Pacific Northwest. I could show you pictures now with the half pipes, the big half pipes coming all the way down California. Water, so much water. They don't have any droughts. They don't have any. They have so much water. They sent it all out to the Pacific Ocean for 20 years. So ridiculous. And we got them to take it now. But what they do and what they're doing, this is a big problem. And what they really want to do is keep criminals because they're trying to protect criminals. Sanctuary cities are a disaster in this country. And most of the voters don't want them. Politicians like them for whatever reason, but I think the politicians are wrong. That's why we won in such a convincing fashion. We won all 7 swing states. We won by millions of votes. We won 2,750 districts as opposed to 505. That's why when you look at the map, it's almost all red. It's got 2 little blue stripes on each side of it. It's almost all red. But now you have to... I always got along with Gavin. I like Gavin. I've liked him, always. He said I never called him. You know, they asked him a question on Fox, I guess. I never spoke to him. He doesn't remember the call. He doesn't remember. I never spoke. And then I produced a phone call. I had it. It took me about 2 minutes. I said, well, here's the call. It lasted 16 minutes and 4 seconds. And it was at 12:30 in the evening. I actually made a call, didn't pick up. I called him a second time, and he picked up. And I told him, I said, you have to get your ass in gear because you're going to have a problem there. And he would have. If we didn't bring the military in, he would have had, you would have right now something. And I went through it because I follow the rules 100%. And I watched in Minnesota where you have the man who ran for vice president of the United States. Fortunately, he was a disaster. But he wouldn't call in the National Guard. And I eventually called in the National Guard, but it was seven days late. I said, I'll never do that again. I'm never going to, if I see problems brewing, if they're not going to do the problem, I'm not going to wait 2 weeks. Because that city, Minneapolis, burned down. If you remember the CNN anchor, he was standing there saying, yes, this is a peaceful rally. And behind him, the entire city was on fire. It looked like World War II. And I appreciate the question.
So what does Newsom do when Trump calls him out? He pretends it never happened. Seriously, he forgets a 16-minute phone call with the president until the receipts drop.
Now, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, claimed today that Donald Trump has not called him, not even left a voicemail. He also said Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines onto our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to. That's what Newsom claimed. That prompted Donald Trump to show the receipts.
He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is. Said I never called. So here is the evidence. And here is the call log that the president sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th.
Oh, there's so much to unpack there, but let's start off with, how does the governor forget a 16-minute phone call with the president?
Oh, look, he's got selective memory. It's just ridiculous. And what disgusts me more about Gavin Newsom, he is such a liar. Today I watched that speech that he tried to put out, but there were so many technical difficulties. He said that Trump was holding a military parade for his birthday on June the 14th. So deceptive. It's the US Army's 250th birthday on June the 15th. It's also Flag Day that has been celebrated since 1777. I can't believe that Newsom gets away with this. He's a deceptive liar trying to damage Trump, and this has to be called out consistently.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of people see this as a big win for Gavin Newsom, that all the lefties in California are going to band around backing him, and he'll again be the favourite to be the next Democrat presidential candidate. But I can't see how he's going to win holding these positions. He is just going radically left again after showing signs of moderating.
While the streets burned, Newsom ducked and deflected. But others like LA's top prosecutor and even Hollywood icon Jon Voight had the guts to say what needed to be said.
Meantime, officials here warn once again that they will track down anyone involved in any acts of violence against law enforcement officers or indeed against property here in LA. Here's the LA County DA, Nathan Hochman.
Let me provide some bad news for you. There's a tremendous amount of video out there through social media and otherwise. We will know who you are, who engaged in this conduct. We will track you down. We will arrest you. We will prosecute you, and we will punish you. So for people who've already engaged in this illegal activity, we're coming for you.
Now, up in San Francisco today, in a courtroom up there, Governor Gavin Newsom will be presenting his case, asking that the National Guard troops federalized by President Trump be put back under his command. The DOJ has described that action by Governor Newsom, that legal action, as, quote, a crass political stunt endangering American lives. But that side of this drama will play out in a courtroom in San Francisco this afternoon.
This argument that Gavin Newsom is making, that he wants it to be back in his command, I think is just juvenile. You didn't show up when the people needed you, and there's crisis after crisis to show for it. I mean, we got the big wall right here. Where was he during COVID? He was at the French Laundry having a good time. Meanwhile, he closed all the schools for K through 12. It impacted 6 million of our kids. The homeless crisis, they lead the nation in the homeless population, yet they also give the homeless population the most funding, and they still have the most there. You got the wildfire response, bad leadership, blamed the poor water management, delays on misplaced priorities. Then the state budget, we just gave them $7 billion for that high-speed rail. Well, they've never even laid a foot of track.
And it doesn't go from San Francisco to... It doesn't.
He can't even handle this stuff.
An epic fail.
It's way over. But I would add something else to him. He says there's San Bernardino fires, and I need my National Guard to go to it, but they are stuck right now in Los Angeles.
Blaming
That's one
Trump.
of his arguments, blaming Trump for that. But I just don't think he has a constitutional argument that I have seen that would have him trump Trump and take the National Guard back.
This is what actor Jon Voight shared on social media.
You're a fool blaming Trump. What are you doing for this destruction of these animals destroying Los Angeles? Are you there talking calmly with them, you fool? They would burn you down like they're burning the cars and the American flag with no regard for humanity. This is not about Trump. This is about protecting the people from these animals and criminals trying to destroy us. And our police force, are they supposed to stand there, let rocks hit them and kill them? Who's going to save them? You? You're a disgrace. You're nothing but a lying dog for the hopes of becoming the president one day.
Gavin Newsom won't stop the chaos because deep down he doesn't want to. Trump called it, the people feel it, and the left, they just keep failing forward. Subscribe to TPV because we say what they won't.